Max again without the gas. So it looks like we might see that same build we saw on Belshir, where he cranks out a lot of these Marines without any add-ons. And this is actually going to be much better in this situation because the tech from Squirtle is actually quite delayed because of this opening. So there's not going to be that many Stalkers out on the field. The Marines will probably be able to do pretty well with some good micro against this.
Well, not with this the extra gateway follow-up coming in here from Squirtle. Of course, obviously would have been watching his the other game just earlier. So these 4 gateways, especially with Warp Gate Research going to finish very shortly, he is going to punish Happy extremely well. And the build order is just not going in Happy's favor at the moment here, Railcoon. He's not moving out just yet. These gateways are about to finish. Same with Warp Gate Research. It's only about 20 seconds away, so definitely going to have those extra warp ins if needed. Both these guys sitting at about 300-400 minerals at the moment.
Yeah, it depends on what Squirtle warps in here, though. Like, if he goes Sentry Heavy into Zealots, then this could still work out for Happy, because we saw that disgusting micro on Belshir.
Exactly.
So it really depends on what unit Squirtle warps in here on what's going to happen. And that is a lot of Stalkers coming in. So that is actually going to work really well in Squirtle's favor.
Well, we do have a proxy pylon over here on the right, but at the same time, these Marines aren't going to be scouted by Squirtle. Oh, thank God for that. He's just going one Stalker, checking that watchtower. That has just saved him really well here. He's going to be able to see what's going on. He's going to come in and he's actually going to take out all of these Marines. There is nothing that Happy can do about it. This is not what he wants to see right now. But nice job by using the gas here.
Well, the only real problem here is the fact that to fight these Marines with the Stalkers like this, you need a lot of space to micro. Okay, actually, that's a lot of Zealots. He's fine now.
Here he goes, going for it.
He's just moving straight through the smoke to get the vision, microing the Stalkers back while they get focused. The Zealots taking all the damage. Wow, that was the perfect response from Squirtle.
Squirtle were microing very well at the same time as two, so both these guys definitely bringing their A game. Looking at wrong tab, but Workers units killed 19-7. Of course, a little bit more close than it seems because of the high unit cost of the Protoss army. But he's of course got Blink on the way already. It's taken out that Marine hiding at the 3rd base here as well. There is 3 bunkers over here for Happy, but looking at his unit count, he only has 4 Marauders at the moment. But it will work out well against this Blink Stalker that is actually coming. So, looking over here, he has
That's the issue though, like, look at the supply count. When he did this on Belshir Beach, he actually killed a lot of units. He killed, like, 2 Sentries, a couple Zealots, 3 Stalkers, and, like, 10 Probes. That early attack did a lot of damage. It put him very far ahead. And this time he's actually really far behind, so he's just bunkering up really heavily. He's got them all full of Marauders. He's being forced to play really defensively right now, and is making a command center at the same time. With the fact that Squirtle got that really big engagement in the center, it's going to be a while before he can really move that command center onto a 3rd base. So he's really just using that for extra workers and Mule for a while, it looks like.
He is going hard on the tech upgrades. Here we got Combat Shield, +1, Stim, all of that stuff, just playing very safe. And Squirtle taking advantage of that fact by taking that early 3rd, as we saw before. Hasn't been scouted by Happy just yet, but his factory making his way over to that 3rd. And this is going to be a very dangerous move for him because Squirtle's been ahead in the economy the entire game, especially after that the opening build order choice. Has Stalkers in his main, ready to stop any drops. Zealot speed on the way, of course.
Look into Happy's base right now. Okay, he just finished the 3rd command center. He's morphing this into orbital command. I don't think he wants a 3rd. He just is getting this for a Mule, and he's moved up to 8 barracks. He's got 4 tech labs, a reactor on the way, so he's going to have 2 reactors, and he's just going to mass bio on 2 bases with an extra Mule and just try and hit Squirtle with the timing because his 3rd base just finished.
Well, Templar Archives is finishing up in a second, can get some Archons. Not sure if he'll get that in time by the time everything gets across here. Of course, looking at the unit counts themselves, 48-40 in favor of Squirtle. Does not have Zealot speed just yet. But look at this, actually Happy delaying a little bit of time here, taking out that pylon. He is going for the 3rd command center down here at the normal position. And double forge on the way here for Squirtle. So Squirtle looking very strong, 20 supply up, extra tech coming out as well. 3rd base already completed and mining. 73 probes to 55 SCVs. Squirtle is ready just to pump out units.
Yeah, but Happy is moving across the map. His eight barracks have finished. They're starting to really crank out a lot of Marines and Marauders. The timing on when Happy attacks here is really important because he has caught up in the army supply. Is actually slightly ahead, but if he waits too much longer, then Squirtle's going to get that back with his third base. So he needs to attack soon, but he's just sort of delaying around the map. He's finding pylons. It looks like he's actually just going to sit back, which is very odd. He went for all these barracks. I thought he was going to try and go for timing, but he's actually still playing rather defensively, just checking around the map, denying pylons, getting his third base up, and going for ghosts. So he's actually just going for the later game, it looks like.
He is going to take map control away from Squirtle until he moves out, and it looks like there's a lot of zealots. This unit composition here for Squirtle is very, very strong. Happy is going to have to back off here. He's just going to get mauled by that army composition. Blinking forward, almost picking up the medivac. There it goes down. Forces a stim on everything here from Happy, and looks like Squirtle is going to back up after he gets scanned. Fourth base has been started over here. Of course, we've got Mobius reactor for the ghosts. So that is the extra energy to deal with these Templars that will have Storm now. What the?
What?
3 robotics facilities.
Okay.
There's going to be a pretty hard tech switch if he decides to go for those Colossi later on. And it's going to be very difficult for Happy at the same time because he's going to be invested into this Ghost tech, and he's only got 1 starport with a reactor on there, and he really needs those medivacs. Looks like he got a couple of Marauders stimming forward. It's nice, forcing a blink back. Does lose 1 Stalker though for Squirtle.
4 ghosts in progress for Happy right now. You can see that the supply advantage has been evened out. They're even supply. Actually, Happy up 10 supply. He's got almost a 30 army supply advantage on Squirtle, and he's sitting at 70 workers, which is a really good number for Terran at this point in the game. You really don't need that much more than that with the mules at this point. You can see he's not even making any more SCVs, so he's just going to be maxing out the rest on army. And there is a robotics bay on the way, so it looks like Squirtle's going to rely on, when this 4th base kicks in, just being able to switch over to lots of Colossus, trying to catch Happy off guard. You just can't lose at too many units before that happens.
You don't want to run against those force fields, Happy, especially when storms come down. Don't do it. Alright, so Squirtle not trying to engage here, but he does have Zealots, of course, forcing a lift up over here at the 3rd base while that was happening. And looking around, we don't actually see any drops anywhere else, but he's going to take out one of the refineries. Building a command center in the middle of the map as well, wants to try and get that 4th base. And it looks like he's trying to play the game of just get further and further higher up the tech tree to try and combat this Protoss army, because he's going to have a difficult time doing that right now. We already have 3 Colossus in production at once. Extended thermal lance on the way. These Marauders did they find that pylon?
Doesn't look like it.
No, they didn't.
There's Zealots coming down here for no reason, so you should have an idea that it's there. So you can see that he will actually be able to check down here. Oh my god. Okay, he does have vision on.
He does have the upgrade advantage, of course, Railcoon here. 1-2 compared to the 1-1. Squirtle, compared to the 1-1. Squirtle will leap ahead once his 2-2 finishes with the double
Ghost!
forge.
Going down in the natural to some of the Zealots. He just sent in 4 or 5 Zealots there, caught a few units, and actually managed to kill one of the Ghosts. Very nice job there by Squirtle. But Happy is going to finish maxing out on some Marauders, Ghosts, finishing Cloak for the Ghosts as well. Does he have an Observer with his army? I don't see one disabled.
He does. He's got the Observer over Happy's army here at the moment. Moving forward, EMP's missing the Templar as they're coming forward. Here they come. The Ghosts are right in the front lines. There go the EMPs. They're actually missing quite a few of them, though. Here come the Storms from Squirtle. Nice EMP catches them before they can get any more Storms off. The Colossus, of course, in a lot of trouble. There's not many units protecting them at the moment. Happy steamrolling forward with some nice unit control. He's like perfectly splitting his entire army against everything, and it is rolling right through Squirtle at the moment. His army is gone. 10 Zealots just been warped in over here. 3 more Colossus have popped out, and that's going to be a saving grace here for Squirtle. And Happy is going to have to back off. Can't really put any more pressure on, but has evened up the bases.
Happy's not even making Vikings right now, though, is the problem. He's trying to rely just on these Marauders. One of the big things that happened there in that fight is he attacked like 10 seconds before Thermal Lance is finished. Like,
Has
if
been
Thermal
shut
Lance
down.
has been done there, it would have actually been much better there for Squirtle, but you see 3 new Colossus on the field already. He's like, wait, what? Now immediately switching over into the Vikings, canceling several medevacs, dropping another starport at the same time, and going for the air weapons upgrade for those Vikings. So there's an immediate reaction from Happy when he sees 3 new Colossus out already, just that moment of panic.
Squirtle's constantly sending Zealots over here into that third base. The Marauders have cleaned up that pylon. Still another one in the middle of the map, though. And like you were saying, he doesn't really have the Viking count just yet. Only has 2 of them. Does have a Planetary Fortress here, though.
6 Colossus.
And here he goes. Happy's going to go for it. He is splitting up quite nicely. The EMPs go down on a lot of the Stalkers, but he just has no way to combat these Colossus, doing a serious amount of damage to Happy's forces. Squirtle looking good to take this one down. All the medivacs are out of energy. He is 40 supply up here at the moment. Almost got a 3-3. There's a GG, and Happy will go down to Squirtle in a very nice game. So, tying it up, 2-2 apiece between Startale and IM. I love it when it's a close game.
Man, that triple robo basically won him the game. He knew he was up on a base, and he could afford to do that. That was so crazy, but it completely took Happy off guard. He had no idea what to do.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All of chat's going, I'm going to try that triple robo now.
Alright. Who is up next for IM? Who do you think, Railkun?
IM? Well, they've already sent out 2 really strong Team League players. So, I don't think we'll see Apocalypse again. Because he played in the first round, didn't he?
Apocalypse? He's a good player, but definitely not one of the ones I'd be seeing out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't think we'll see him.
No, we'll see someone even better.
who's
Lysera
that?
against Squirtle on Crevasse.
Oh, man.
Pulling no punches
Really?
to IMR today.
They're serious about this.
Alrighty, so it's going to be IM Lysera. Both teams pulling no punches, actually. It's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss, of course. Get this one going. Alrighty, so everyone's in the lobby now, just waiting on the KSL admins to fix things up, and we'll get going. Of course, anyone who's just joining us, this is the KSL IM versus Startale. It is going to be Lysera versus Squirtle up next, tied 2-2 apiece between both of these guys. Going to be a lot of fun here, Railkun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Protoss versus Zerg, always a fun matchup to watch. We are on Crossfire, which is going to be somewhat troublesome if it goes to really late stages of the game for Lysera. But you see a lot of Zerg players on this map will play aggressive because of that. So I'm really curious what he's going to show us on Crossfire, because he wound up picking this map.
Let's go into the next game, shall we? Alright, welcome back everyone. IM versus Startale for the KSL 2012 opening ceremonies. I am Unstable, joined here by Railkun. We have some pretty damn good games coming out here tonight. Tied apiece at 2-2 here between these two teams. It is a best of 11, first to 6, which takes it all. and both teams pulling no punches whatsoever. Squirtle against Lucira coming up here on Crossfire, and this is an interesting map choice by Lucira. Of course, loser picks the next map, and their player, Squirtle, taking out Happy was definitely a good game to watch. Go check that out. The VODs will be up on the FX Open YouTube, youtube.com/FX Open Esports, a couple of hours afterwards if you missed anything earlier. And let's get into it, shall we, Ralkun?
Yeah, I'm really curious what Lucira has planned for this map, because it can actually be kind of tough to secure a third base for a long period of time on Crossfire as a Zerg player. And a lot of times you'll see people actually orient their strategies around that when they're playing Zerg on this map, is they'll just play that repeated third base denial and just keep doing it over and over again. It can become really difficult.
Well, one of the other trends we've seen on this map is always Protoss going one gate expand and just being crushed by Zerglings. So, definitely don't want that to happen here, because these games so far have been very close, very intense. Do not want to see a pretty one-sided game. That I always like seeing down to the wire, every game a close one. That's what makes it good. And of course, we do see the pool going down with the... Already?
You see the gateway with the gas on the way, right after you're talking about one gateway expand getting crushed by Zerglings?
Whoa, hang on. Second gas. Ooh.
Whoa, really? Okay. Stargate, maybe?
Could be a whole heap of things at this point in time. That double gas is going to be very interesting. It opens up a lot of options for Squirtle going into it. Squirtle, definitely someone who can play a wide variety of hands in his games. You can't really pinpoint him on something, have to be top-notch on your scouting. Of course, Lucira, finishing up his spawning pool, is only going to have one lava.
He got that second gas before he even started the cybernetic score, so this is actually extremely aggressive tech from a Squirtle. So I would guess Stargate or some form of Twilight Council cheese, like Blink Stalkers really, really fast. Maybe Dark Templars.
Oh, yeah, like I was saying, it's far too many cards could be held here by Squirtle, especially since Lucira doesn't really know what's going on just yet. Doesn't even see the building placement at the top of the ramp. And of course, 300 gas already. There's a Twilight Council coming out here. So we're most likely going to see DTs, especially with that gas count here. Yeah, there's only one gateway, of course. Stalker now being chrono boosted out. And we have a total of 4 Zerglings in the field. Link speed's about halfway done here for Lucira. Very standard on this one to try and put a lot of pressure on the expanding Protoss. But from the looks of it, Squirtle doesn't want to expand.
Yeah, this is going to make Lucira pretty suspicious immediately. He's going to poke up, he's going to see the wall off, and then he'll check the natural and see no nexus. Yep. So as long as he actually checks around the most of the map with some Zerglings, which he probably will.
He's already doing it?
Then, then there's really not much to explain this besides either a Dark Templar cheese or Void Rays. And both of those are going to have similar reactions to defend it. So I think Lucira is going to be all right. He is actually going for Roaches right now. So he's guessing correctly in that it's Dark Templars. Really need to see an Evolution Chamber, though, actually, from Lucira. But we should see that in a moment, because this should be a pretty big tell for him.
We'll find out in a minute which way he wants to go with it. Of course, more Zerglings running forward. Does see the pylon at the bottom of the ramp by Squirtle. And we're only about 6 minutes 14 seconds in, so it could be reading something different from Lucira. We don't know what's going through his head at the moment. Of course, that Dark Shrine about 75% of the way done. And here's the thing, Ralkun, Lucira has both watchtowers. So he's going to notice a lot of stuff coming forward. Of course, the pylon looks like it's going to go down here at the bottom right of the map, because he doesn't really want to have to walk it all the way through. Get the off chance that it actually gets spotted. There's the Evo chamber coming out from Lucira now. Keeping up in the drone count though, 34 to 28 is keeping his injects on time. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, Lucira's playing this pretty well. He's got a good number of roaches out on the field. He's got 8 in production. They're all just about to pop out. He's got the evolution chamber timed out pretty well. And the Dark Templars are only halfway across the map right now. You can see 3 spore crawlers in progress. This is going to be a close call, but at the very least, he's just going to have to pull some drones, surround the spore crawler with the roaches. He's got the ramp completely blocked off. The one in the mineral line.
DT's going to work here at the front here, Ralkun. Sorry to cut you off. Does catch one of those spore crawlers, of course. Getting a couple of roach kill, almost getting a roach kill there. And Spore Crawler
Yeah,
is in the main, so he needs to be careful going too close, picking off units as they run forward.
Yeah, he's got the Spore Crawlers down already, so he's in a pretty good position. The Evolution Chamber, actually, is that in detection range when he's hitting that?
Looks like he is.
Yes, he is. And actually, that one's going to go down. Second one patrolling around. This hasn't done a whole lot of damage to Losira so far. And look at the supply difference. You can see that they're even on workers. And he really needs to buy a lot of time with this Dark Templar, because if not, he's going to be in a lot of trouble to a counterattack.
Yeah, we've got more gateways and a forge going down at the front here, but the Roaches are going to be able to be a little bit frustrating for Squirtle. Of course, the final Dark Templar is picked off by the Zerglings at the top of the cliff there. Lair on the way. Nexus is finished up, but here come the Roaches. There's not that many Roaches, though. One is on very low health. And here's the thing, Railcoon. Squirtle can always just warp in a DT and chase these off. So
yeah, at this point, forcing a DT warp in is still going to be a pretty big hit, because they're quite expensive, and he's trying to tech right now. So there comes the DTs, dropping an extra cannon as well. And Losira's actually going to be relatively happy with that result. He didn't commit all of his Roaches here. There's still some of them back at home. That forced Squirtle have to spend more resources on the defense here. He completely walled off. So all of these units here are trapped without having to kill a pylon. And this would be one of the rare situations in which a Zerg player can actually get a safe third base on Crossfire.
Well, not exactly safe. There's always going to be that threat of DTs. But we do have 4 gas here for Losira. Of course, his lair's just finished up. We'll see which way he wants to go with his tech choice after this. 2 Spire Crawlers going down in case any DTs try to run past. Spire on the way. And Losira was actually supply cap for a second then. But we do see more DTs being warped in over at the right-hand side. +1 and Blink, of course, on the way. And there was Roach Speed for a second, but it was cancelled by the looks of it by Losira.
Yeah, he actually made an Overseer. So he's going to have detection with his army here. Hasn't really continued the army production a whole lot, as he has started tech up quite a bit, like you're saying. But look at that worker count. He's almost up 20 workers right now. Kind of surprised we don't see a third base right now, just because of the fact that normally it's really difficult to do on this map, and he is in a position where he should be able to get away with it. Okay, here comes the drone going up to the top left. So he's going to start that now.
Doesn't have a macro hatch either. Actually going to catch a couple of these stalkers. Nice reaction.
Not even getting any of those stalkers. Really good force fields there by Squirtle to shut down that Zergling aggression.
So very nicely done. He's actually playing very calm and collected here. And what is Losira doing? He's banking 1,000 minerals. It looks like it's going to be the mutas are going to be popping any second, because I was on the wrong tab. And I'm like, why does he have 1,000 minerals? That makes complete sense. Robotics facility, of course, finishing up for Squirtle as well. And there we go, 9 mutas in production, but it's going to be difficult to hold this off with that. We've got a few Roaches, 4 Spine Crawlers, interestingly positioned, worried about an attack coming from this ramp, but coming from the left is actually going to be very difficult for those Spine Crawlers. There's quite a few of them here though, and Squirtle needs to be careful. He's actually coming in from both ends, taking a couple of hits here on that Queen. Queen actually goes down, going straight into these Spine Crawlers. We have a lot of mutas popping out now, more force fields going down, and the Zerglings can't really get to him. He's going to have to rely on these Spine Crawlers here. Will force Squirtle to back up, getting a lot more Stalkers. Blink is done, by the way, so we will be able to blink back here, and it doesn't look good for Losira at all. 1 muta going in, face all these Stalkers alone, actually gets out alive somehow as well. At the same time, mutas are coming down to the natural here for Squirtle, going to go straight to work against these probes, pulling the probes around that cannon, but there's enough mutas to deal with that, and it looks like we are pulling drones at the same time.
Completely breaking through the defenses here. There's only 1 Spine Crawler left. Second one, not even going to finish. There's no units here at all. Losira losing those Zerglings in the center of the map is actually really important, because if he had those and set up a good flank, he probably could have held this. But without those extra units, he just doesn't have enough stuff. And it's really odd, because he shut down that DT so well, and then he just got caught completely off guard by this transition from Squirtle. It looks like Losira was in a really good spot.
Well, he's actually got a lot of links popping here, Railcoon. Nice positioning on the ramp, though. There's a lot of drones still on the field. 48 drones to 29, because those mutas doing quite a lot of damage down here at the natural. And he's actually going to bring those mutas back. Might actually have enough to be able to deal with this if he keeps pulling those drones. The buffer here for him. Blink actually goes down, and a straggling Stalker taken out by those Zerglings. A lot of these Stalkers are on low health. +2 weapons, of course, finishing very shortly. And these drones just keeping Lacira alive at this point. Because if you look, the probe count got so low, it's being very difficult for Squirtle to finish this off. Doesn't really have the income that he wants. The Muta's doing a lot of damage. Nice blink control here. And it looks like he's trying to target down these Mutas individually. And it looks like Lacira is going to have to pull back again. But so many low health Stalkers, reinforcements coming through as well. There's 2 Queens in the mix, losing a lot of drones now, 23 to 29 in that last one. Lacira, last-ditch effort coming forward, but still some great control coming out from Squirtle. I don't think it's going to be enough here for Lacira. Lots of low health Stalkers, but the same goes for the Mutas. They are being picked off one by one as it goes forward. There's the GG. Squirtle taking out Lacira in a very nice game. And IM regains the lead.
Startale.
Sorry. Startale. That's what I meant. I didn't say IM. What are you on about?
That was a pretty crazy game. Like, Lacira got the advantage, and then he droned without taking the base. And then Squirtle attacked him right when like 2 rounds of drones came out. So he didn't have that many units. And then he lost so many Zerglings in the center of the map that he couldn't hold that attack. It was just a really weird series of events that led to the perfect storm there for Squirtle. If any one of those had gone slightly differently, then that game would have gone completely different. But it wasn't even like luck. He just played really well, and Lacira just happened to make a couple of mistakes right at the same time.
Well, no macro hatch really hurt him in the end. Didn't have the lava to come through with it. But we'll see who Startale chooses. IM choose to take on next. Of course, it is 3-2 in favor of Startale, of course. And we'll find out who's up next. But neither of these teams pulling any punches here at the moment. So it's quite possible we will see Nesty or MVP coming out very shortly.
I don't think quite yet. I mean, it's
they have
still
3 chances left.
Yeah.
So next we'll probably see
somebody else
Yonghua
first.
or Yoda, I feel. They're probably the 2 players who are performing really well recently. Yonghua and Yoda always staple points for IM in the team leagues.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, waiting for them to pick their choices. Alright.
Yeah, I'm looking at their lineup right now. It looks like they probably want to throw out Yonghua unless they're going to do MVP or an ST. There's not many other really solid options, especially since they haven't been pulling punches at this point. They've really been sending out their solid players this entire time, so...
Yep, definitely true. Alright, so... I don't know, it has been taking teams... Both these teams pulling no punches definitely means they're going to think about their next choices. They're taking a little bit of time for it to get done. Of course, there is more delay as the game gets hosted before we get in there. But it's going to be interesting.
Has it been hosted yet?
No, has not.
Yes, it has. You haven't been invited yet, but it's hosted.
Oh, is it?
I see it.
Oh, for some reason the KSL guide moved down on my list. That's weird. Anyway, there's the invite. Who is IM going to send next? They need to win this one. Who is it going to be?
I'm waiting for you to say something.
Ooh.
Because you'll see before me.
Ooh, I will. And the stream is going to like it.
Wow, you're being mysterious.
I'm not going to say it until we're actually in the game, just to make it more entertaining.
Okay. Well, we'll do that then. And I'll just go, ooh. And I see it myself in the lobby. Let's put it this way.
Oh,
If
actually,
this was
people
the
don't know what I mean
GSPL
by saying pulled punches. Like, it means they're not messing around. They're sending their top players and the ones who think that they'll have absolute best position to take a game off that. rather than
It's a
sending out
boxing
somewhere.
term.
Yeah, it is a boxing term.
Just means you're throwing the full force behind everything you put out there.
Yeah.
So they're trying their best to win this with each play they're sending out. But let's put it this way, since we're being mysterious. If this was a GSTL, they wouldn't have to be trying to guess who it was by their haircut right now.
Countdown has started. Of course, Antigua Shipyards is going to be the map. I'll tell you that much. All right, welcome back, everyone. Game number 6 for Startale versus IM. Up next, of course, we have IM's MVP up against Startale's Squirtle. It is going to be a TVP here on Antigua Shipyards. And, of course, it is going to be the GSL version of Antigua. No gold minerals and forced cross positions. All right, so let's get this one started. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon, as we've been saying all night. Both these teams going for all here. And, of course, MVP spawning as our blue Terran at the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, overlay, Dan.
My overlay?
It's still on.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I hit the shortcut key and it didn't actually happen. Alright, so Squirtle down here in the bottom right as our red Protoss. This is definitely going to be a testing point here for Squirtle. What do you think, Railkin?
I don't know. It's MVP. Like, I'm still getting over the fact that they sent him out this early. Like, normally he would be the guy you sit as your absolute ace, but they sent him out with 3 more players to go. They really want to make sure Squirtle gets out of here, and it makes sense. Squirtle, like, hasn't done very well in the individual leagues. He's actually doing a little bit better for himself now, but he's always been pretty solid in the team league format. So he's definitely a threat, somebody you want to take out. And like we were talking about earlier, TVP right now is just so crazy when it comes to the build orders. Like, you can't metagame people very well in this matchup because there's just so many different openings that both players can go for. There's a lot of guessing that goes on early on. If you watch really closely and you analyze it pretty hard, like everything that they do with good scouting, sometimes these games get really insane with people countering each other's builds 3 to 4 times in the first, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So both these guys do have scouts in each other's space, seeing what's going on. Nothing out of the ordinary from either of them just yet. Of course, this map, with the cross spawns, some people have gotten in a lot of trouble with going for some very aggressive strategies in the past. So I wouldn't expect anything too out of the ordinary from either of them. Squirtle, as we've seen, versus Happy, very strong in PvT, especially in the late game, did some very nice decisions. And caught Happy completely off guard, but it is going to be a Gasos expand, of course. And this probe actually forces the cancel. Pylon blocks MVP before he gets it down, of course, to the joys of moving command centers. Drops it right next to the pylon anyway. But still, that is going to delay him, like, even the couple of seconds of delayed time here is going to be good for Squirtle, simply because he will be able to get his Nexus up a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's interesting. One of the things that I've seen some Protoss players doing instead is actually trying to block add-ons with pylons, but of course, since he has no gas, that's not really an option, so he has to go for that command center. And watching Squirtle, he does actually go for his own Nexus immediately afterwards, so nothing crazy going on just yet. I mean, it's Antigua, the rush distance is pretty decent. It's going to be one of the maps where it's much easier to fall back on this expansion for both sides. But
we don't see the normal 2 barracks after this expansion. We've actually seen 2 gas. It's going to be interesting. At the same time, we do have a bunker at the top of the ramp here as well, just in case any kind of pressure comes in from Squirtle. This bunker is very, very standard these days.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially if you're going to do something like this double gas, which is going to cut into his unit count in the next few minutes. It allows him to be really safe. Okay, there we go. He was actually saving up a lot of minerals. I was thinking MVP might pull an MVP and just drop a 3rd command center. Because that, I mean, he's the one that started that whole thing. And look at this, he's actually mining from 2 of these mineral patches while he converts this into an orbital command. He's getting the absolute maximum amount of income for this, despite that pylon block from the Squirtle. And that's actually really cute. It's actually getting a little bit of a mineral boost, and he'll be able to lift this up and fly it over. Yeah, there we go. But as we look back into Squirtle's base, he has 3 gateways, very standard transition. Move into 3 gate pressure, then either 7 gates with tech or 8 gateways straight up
Well,
trying
very
to go
gateway
for
heavy pressure build coming in from Squirtle will be very devastating to MVP at the moment. Going straight for that startboard, of course, the tech lab on the factory due to the double gas earlier. And we actually have a probe over here by Squirtle. I see a right click from Marines. Is he going to go and check for that, or is he going to come up? Oh, look at this. MVP misses. No heartbeat at all. Going to spot this scout over here and doesn't want that early probe coming down. Very nicely done. He's going to throw a little bit of a spanner into the works for any pressure if Squirtle wants to go for it. Of course, still does have the middle of the map here. Got a... Ooh.
For non-Australians, that means putting a wrench in the gears, just for the record.
All right, but we are actually going to see a third Nexus coming out here from Squirtle by the looks of it. He's banking up quite a bit of resources.
Oh, look at this. Cloak Banshees from MVP. He is going for the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at this, well, Squirtle went straight into the Twilight Count, so this means his robotics probably is going to be waiting quite a bit. There goes the blink research. Oh dear.
There's a scan by MVP to pick up the...
This could catch him off guard because he's going for the gateway pressure with blink. Sometimes when players do this, their observer can come quite late. This could be a really dangerous opportunity for MVP. He could actually kill quite a bit with these Cloak Banshees. But he has to hold off the 3-gate pressure first because the Stalkers are starting to mass in the center. The one good thing for him is he does not have a proxy pylon.
He doesn't have any zealots either.
So it will take longer for these units to get over here and reinforce.
Doesn't have any zealots either. They do quite a bit of damage against those bunkers as well. And it looks like Squirtle is just poking around in the middle of the map. Splink is going to finish soon, but so is Cloak, and there is no robotics facility at all.
Yeah, he's adding the extra gateways. He's going straight for the gateway pressure. No observer at all. He's not even going to try and blink up into the main base. First Banshee is out, getting into position, waiting for that cloak to finish. And the second one is actually going to pop out here in a moment.
Here it comes.
Does finish up, and the Banshee's in the main base. There's absolutely no detection.
Look at this. No. MVP isn't hitting his cloak, doesn't want to give it away, but we do see the instant reaction for the robotics facility, just in case Cloak is on this Banshee. Has delayed the attack coming forward, of course, did see the extra gateways with that Banshee as well. Getting more pro kills, blinking straight on top. Nice reaction by MVP, does hit that cloak, and that is going to be a moment from Squirtle. That one Banshee, of course, getting a lot more pro kills. The second one coming into the third base here, and he actually has 2 tanks over at his base with siege mode done, pretty much, so he's going to be safe against any kind of counterattack. There is 13 kills, 14, 15. This Banshee is wreaking havoc for Squirtle. MVP all over him.
Disgusting. The third base has been completely cleaned out of probes. They've all had to transfer away. You can see that the probes are just transferring back and forth wildly. His income is in shambles right now because he just can't keep probes on mineral patches for very long. He's down to 31 probes right now, with 30 workers killed by MVP right now. 31. We're 10 minutes into the game. This is completely ridiculous. The build orders lining up perfectly for MVP. Squirtle just going for one of these one-off build orders, going for
he has a third Banshee, by the way, at the third again.
Oh my god. Like
36 workers killed. A 40 supply lead. A third command center is already on the way here for MVP. He's getting more racks to follow this up with, and he's actually moving out because he has 4 tanks with siege mode.
And Marines and a Raven and those Banshees that survived. So hey, look, this is like a 1-1-1 transition.
He's still got that observer though. Has to be careful.
It's so ridiculous the amount of economic damage he did to Squirtle. He has a 40 supply advantage right now on stable. As he moves into the center of the map, there's absolutely no way that Squirtle can stand up to the full force of this army. He has basically no zealots, just these 3. There's no immortals. This is not going to end well for Squirtle.
No, not at all. Squirtle is definitely on the back foot. Has mainly Stalkers in the army. He can try and pick units off if he wants to. There's also SCVs in the mix, hiding behind the Marines. Nice pick on that Banshee. But as soon as these tanks siege, it's going to be very difficult. Bunker's actually going down as well here for MVP scans, trying to pick off that observer. Oh, no, don't you dare.
God, what's that? I didn't see who it was. It didn't look like it was you.
No, it's never me. But we do see the tanks shelling here. He's trying to get those bunkers up and running. And here's the thing, Relkin, once you start funneling the zealots, we saw MVP do this to Oz in, I can't remember the name of the tournament. It was very recent though. And oh, tanks at the top with the Raven, of course, going to be able to spot for that. not allowing Squirtle to do anything. He's still 40 supply down. He's going to go for it now, but there's too many tanks.
With defense drone going down right on top of the tanks as well. The force fields are actually helping out the Marines. Bad force fields from Squirtle actually completely walled the Marines off from the Zealots. That was actually quite shocking that he did that. And that means that this one bunker is going to finish. These tanks can continue to lead forward now, and there's really nothing Squirtle can do about this.
Yeah, we do see repaired SCVs at the front of that bunker as well. Still climbing in supply lead just due to that economic damage from earlier. He's slowly moving his tanks forward. There's nothing that really Squirtle can do about it. Not enough energy for another PDD here, but Stim's almost finished. This has been all without Stim, by the way. He's just trying to push forward.
Pretty crazy. If you look, he's actually letting the Raven take some shots and then repairing it with 3 SCVs.
Well, these Marines moving forward are being a little bit greedy here by MVP. Lost a lot of those Marines. Still does have that one bunker, quite a few tanks. Also have another observer on the way to help deal with this Banshee. And he lost a lot of those Marines, but it doesn't really matter here at the moment because the tank's moving forward yet again. Probes being pulled, trying to blink around, but repairing the tank at the front lines does finally go down. But there's still that bunker. Stalkers from behind.
Where did those come from?
The third base.
I guess he blinks around from the main or something, but
Squirtle.
Still not enough. He will take out the tanks, but there's still this bunker. The Raven will go down, but I mean, look at this. It's still a 60 supply advantage for MVP right now. It just doesn't matter.
Alright, so he's finally getting rid of all these Stalkers. That Banshee is out of energy though. Still has that bunker in range. Took out the third Nexus, of course, while getting his own mass mules down here. While all of this action has been happening, he's been keeping up on all his upgrades. Of course, he's going to be doing that. And he looks like he's almost going to lose that bunker. A lot of low health Stalkers. The Observer is going to pick off that Banshee if he gets a little bit too greedy. Repairing that bunker still, and here comes the reinforcement wave, and then it's game over.
Finally killing that point defense drone because it was really annoying the crap out of him, but that's a lot of bios going across the map. It's a 90 supply difference right now. Squirtle has 18 workers.
There's the
GG.
The
bio coming.
MVP.
Immediately.
MVP ties it up again, 3-3 in IM versus Startale. Here's the thing, Railcoon, who can take out MVP from Startale? Because I don't know.
Don't know. You don't send Bomber because it's MVP. You don't want to TVT that. So, Curious maybe? They haven't sent him yet.
That's very true.
I think that's probably going to be their best shot right now is Curious.
Curious is a good option. Alright, so as we wait for the next choice here from Startale, we will go to a quick break. Waiting for the next map choice and player choice. Of course, tied 3-3. This one could end 6-3. But then again, I always love it when it goes 6-5. Okay. Let's have a look here at Startale's lineup. They have Curious, they have Bomber, they've lost Squirtle, they still have Sound. I don't think he's going to be able to match up against MVP though.
Yeah. I think their last three are going to have to be Bomber, Curious, and Parting probably.
Yep. We're going to start off with Parting. It is going to be Calm before the Storm. Good map choice for this particular matchup. Protoss have been doing quite well.
Mm-hmm. And the Protoss have a few options of what they can do with some early game all-ins, maybe try and catch MVP off guard. Could be sending Parting to go for some really quick timing, especially since on I Have the Storm here, a lot of players do go for rather aggressive expansions.
Yeah. Okay. So we are in the game here, Parting against MVP for game number 7. Of course, best of 11. This is could be only halfway done here, Railcoon.
Yeah, it's first to 6 for this format, and it's 3-3. So we're really only about halfway done at this point. One game passed. These teams have been just trading back and forth this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
The only person to win 2 in a row so far has been Happy.
No, Squirtle. What are you talking about?
Oh, right, Squirtle. Okay.
Yeah.
So they both won 2 in a row, and then everything else has just been back and forth.
All right.
I mean, MVP, he's kind of like the final boss getting sent out here. If you get past MVP, that's the major hump of their lineup. as they still have a few other, you know, big monsters, but MVP is definitely the guy who's been doing the best recently.
Yep, so let's see how we go. Next game coming up. Countdown has started. Let's get into this, shall we? And I'm not going to forget the overlay this time. Load faster.
Somebody in chat says it's like that part in all of the RPGs where you meet the final boss halfway through the game and you're scripted to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to lose the fight. That's kind of what MVP is right now in this lineup.
It's a very good point.
Credit to Noobtastic there for Noobistic for that one. That's a very good comparison.
Unless someone's... there we go. Alright. Welcome back, everyone. Game number 7 here for IM versus Startale. It is going to be a best of 11 GSTL format. IM's MVP up against... who do we up against?
Parting.
Parting. Of course it is. I was busy doing the other stuff before. So Startale Parting is going to be our blue Protoss. And of course... MVP as our red Terran over here. This is going to be a very interesting. Parting has been doing very well. He's been on a roll recently, but then again, so is MVP. You can't really, you cannot put MVP as the underdog in any matchup against any player at the moment. So it's going to be interesting. Ooh, get out.
This is like the 3rd time this guy has lagged at the start of a game.
But this map is definitely going to be an uphill battle, especially since just this matchup here. A lot of Protoss have been doing really well on this one. It's a very, very long map, cross positions as well. It doesn't really help the cause for any kind of early pressure, so let's see how good Parting's macro is, shall we?
Yeah, the rush distance on this is actually much longer cross positions, and most of the time we've seen this so far, it hasn't been cross. So if Parting was planning on going for some aggressive early game timing, this could be much, much better for MVP. Especially since, unlike a lot of the other maps that have the in-base expansion, this one has 2 gas. So it's not even a disadvantage of taking that in-base expansion. So cross position is definitely really going to play into MVP style of just expanding aggressively here on Eye of the Storm.
What?
But the main question is, will Parting... What?
Did you just call it Eye of the Storm?
Calm before the storm, sorry.
Making me think something's happening here. Alright, so... okay, so let's see. We do have, of course, MVP going for the command center first. Very standard on this map. Just due to the backdoor expansion possibilities. We'll most likely throw a bunker down here later on in the game as well. A lot of Protoss been mixing in the Warp Prism play to put a lot of pressure on. At the same time, we do see a standard opening from Parting. Wouldn't be surprised to see that 1-gate Nexus. It's just really what... you should really be doing these days in this matchup as the cookie cutter build. Of course, we do see this probe is going to get up here before the barracks is finished. No gas this time, not like in the last game we went straight for that double gas after the expansion.
Looks like MVP is actually sticking to the 2 barracks follow-up. So I'll actually be curious to see if we see a similar situation we saw yesterday with the... Was that yesterday? The 2 barracks straight into tanks with reactor
That was
Marines?
Noblesse.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool build. But he doesn't have any gas on the way, so it doesn't look like it. What is he doing? He's only got the 2 barracks and still no gas.
We'll see. There's always a plan for MVP. He's just a lot smarter than everybody else in this game, so...
That's the thing is, like, if MVP's doing something confusing, it's just because you're not on his level and you don't understand what he's doing yet. And everything will become clear as the game unfolds.
We do have the second gas being taken here by Parting. Parting, of course, a very big fan of Blinkstalkers on this map, as are a lot of Protoss.
Yeah, there we go. Quick third base from MVP. Trademark style. He's the one that really started this on maps like this. Terminus before they fixed it. Crevasse as well. Like, he really loves it when he can get away with this quick third base. because it's one of those builds where if your opponent doesn't scout it, then it's really hard to deal with. You either have to expand very aggressively yourself and tech up really high, or you have to all in it very, very hard. If you try and go middle of the road, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it requires that you have to scout it, and MVP set this up in a position where it's going to be tough for Parting to scout it. So this is actually quite dangerous for Parting right now. I like this a lot from MVP.
Coming forward with his Stalker here, of course, there's going to be that bunker. Taking quite a few hits from the Marines, MVP is going to have to drive that back until the bunker is
walled.
No. So he's coming forward. Actually, he's going to catch the Stalker.
Oh!
Yes, he is. Did not expect those Marines coming out for Parting. Big win there for MVP early in the game. But look at this. We actually have a third Nexus as well here from Parting. Kind of smells what's going on here by the looks of it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good response for him. He is going to be able to stay even with MVP on these expansions. If he's kept on 2 bases there and started to fall behind, it would have been rather dangerous. But very good job there, kind of guessing that MVP likes to do this a lot. So especially since he saw that gasless expansion, there's a pretty good chance he was going to go for that. And we'll see both players actually now dropping their upgrades. Forge and Engineering Bay dropping nearly the same time. MVP starting to add some extra barracks now as well. Factory on the way. So both players just transitioning very, very normally after this.
Only one Forge is a bit interesting here from Parting. Normally you see the double Forge on this map, especially since we're going to have 3 bases, 6 gas very quickly. Now, Parting's going to have to be careful of any kind of timing that comes out here from MVP with Stim to try and catch him off guard. So, it should be interesting. We also have a Factory being... Oh, and hiccups go rampant for me. Can you take over for a second?
Yeah, and it's interesting that MVP is actually holding the center of the map because of the fact that Parting is just... He went for this third Nexus, but he doesn't realize that MVP has the third command zone already, so he thinks he's playing it very risky. So he's not poking out in the center of the map at all for the most part. Zealot scouting around will finally take over that watchtower, but you can see these playing very defensively, even though they are in pretty much even positions. The main issue is the fact that MVP has quite a bit of bio out already. And Parting's gateway force is still kind of small. He really needs to warp in some units.
Well, the joys of a large map, he will have quite a bit of time to do so if he needs to. There is 4 gateways already up and running, a 5th one on the way. Upgrades going rampant for both these players, and these units coming across will probably get there at the same time that Stim finishes up. Is going to be scouted by the Zealot in the middle of the map, though. Most likely going to see quite a few more Zealots being warped in here for Parting. And if you can catch these units in the force fields, should be able to shut it down. And I think MVP knows that, so he's not going to go forward.
Yeah, he did just finish a second Forge now as well, starting the weapons upgrades, so he is going to be moving into that double Forge. I think with the quick third Nexus, he was thinking that the double Forge was probably just a little bit too risky, doing both of those at the same time, which is quite understandable, because he's already kind of on a small army. If he'd gone for that double Forge, he'd have even less than that at the moment, and actually switching straight into Colossus afterwards. So he is actually going to skip the Storm, which is somewhat more common these days, and going straight into Colossus. And at the same time, MVP is working on his 4th base. And this is the thing, is that on maps like this, MVP will just expand and expand and expand until you force him to stop. And it's actually kind of tough to deal with, because he's just going to get a ridiculous economy, and he's going to do that insane style where it's just the Terran Zerg, where the bio just never stops coming.
The Observer has actually missed the bio force here, though, so that actually will put up a red flag as he gets into the natural and realizes. But there is a turret there, of course, to watch, and so Parting needs to be careful with this Observer. If you rally on past those turrets too close, it does take those out. Look at this, MVP actually taking the rocks down on the left, so he wants to clear out while he has time with that bio in case he wants to expand later. There's a turret at the back of his backdoor natural in case any drops come forward. He's not going to lose this one Marine in the middle of the map against the Zealot, so that would just be embarrassing.
Against the Zealot on the watchtower. That was hilarious. He doesn't actually lose it there, but he did so much damage against the Zealot with some really good micro there. It's just like right around the Rosie in the center of the map, and then he's going to get revenge on that Zealot with the rest of his army. He actually took out the rocks at the 9 o'clock base as well, so he's really well prepared to continue his expansions.
Oh, he did pick up the Colossus as it walked in a range of that scan. A bit of a mistake there by Parting, giving away the fact that he already has Colossus out. And looks like we are going to see a double drop into the back expansion. There's already Stalkers here waiting for it. No, they're actually going to come back, pick out the Stalk, the Observer. Very nice first. This is quite a big drop here. Does notice the Stalkers with the factory. He's going to try and bait those Stalkers up the ramp and then come in with the nut. Parting not going to fall for it.
A few stray units off by themselves in the center of the map. The rest of them are in these 4 medevacs. But if you look at it, MVP already has a second starport on the way. He started the the ship weapons upgrade. I always do that for his Vikings. So he's actually going to have a lot of really well upgraded Vikings pretty soon to be able to deal with these Colossus. So Parting really needs to get the Storm out so he has that Colossus Storm, because before that his Colossus are going to be in a decent amount of trouble against the Vikings.
It looks like Parting is geared up to actually take a third base. He's already got pylons. He just has to clear out the rocks. Standard thermal lands, 2-2 upgrades because he added that second forge. Templar Archives. Both these guys going very, very heavy macro games here.
But MVP's up almost 20 supply. His 4th base is going to be much sooner than Parting's, because Parting's hasn't even cleared out his rocks yet. He's working on that now. But it's just one of those things, like I was saying, MVP, he's just... on a map like this, the only way to stop him from doing this is to apply pressure, and Parting is just sitting back and playing the macro game with him, which is... I know Parting has been playing really well recently, but do you really want to play like a 30-minute macro game with MVP?
Well, on this map, Protoss actually will, regardless of the player, because it still does give him an advantage, especially once they get Storm and Colossus on the field, as in about a minute's time, that is exactly what Parting's going to have. Already Vikings, but looking here, there are no ghosts. So this Templar coming out is going to be very useful. Looking at the upgrades, it's 1-2, soon to be 2-3 for MVP, and of course 2-2, soon to be 3-3 for Parting. He's actually coming in, scouting this 4th base, coming with the bio, only stimming a little bit of it. Because you know why, Railcoon? Do you know why? There's 4 medivacs full of units coming into the back door. And oh my god! 2 of them just got taken out by its feedbacks. And he saved his 4th Nexus. He is going to lose quite a bit of probes down here though. There's no units anywhere for Parting.
And the only thing he's got in position are some Colossus walking by themselves. He has actually been really careful about that positioning. He might have been actually been able to trade some of that bio for that Colossus as it walked in completely ahead of everything else. But look at this. MVP's Ghost Academy just about to finish. Planetary Fortress on the way at his 4th base.
Coming back with these drops here. There is still Templars there, but not probably didn't have enough feedback. There goes the Medivacs. And in the engagement in the middle, nice force fields. MVP actually getting a little bit ahead of himself by the looks of it. Coming in from the flank from the left. Parting does lose one of his Colossus, but completely driven MVP back. He's now at a 30 supply lead. Why are the Vikings on the left running forward? And MVP needs to back up. And those drops are still alive over here at the back door natural as the Zealots finally come through. And those feedbacks on the Medivacs were sick. Railcoon, that saved him at that 3rd base. All right, so... And
that says a lot, the fact that MVP lost that fight in the center of the map.
Oh my god, he's going to lose some more units here.
That's the most wide open portion of the center of the map that he fought in. Like, that's the best place for MVP to be fighting the Protoss army. And he still wasn't able to take that down because he didn't have his units in proper position.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt a lot, because you can see that Parting is taking that advantage and rolling with it. He's continuing to apply the pressure. He's just continuing to move forward with all of his units. Stalkers separating off to kill all of these bio that got separated. Now the Zealots and Archon plus Colossus are sweeping down towards the natural. He's not going to let MVP try and recover his army count. But once these Stalkers get here, it looks like he's going to continue attacking forward.
He's not going to have enough energy. He's not going to have enough energy on these ghosts. And here comes Parting. He does have a fairly okay supply lead, but there's so many Zealots. They're just so tanky at the moment. 3-3 upgrades for Parting, of course. And they're just doing so much damage here. SCV is being pulled, fighting on both sides of this flank. There's actually units, like, that is a lot of Zealots being warped in right there. Railcoon to follow this up. EMP's going down, but MVP looks like he's barely held the first push here, but then Parting backs up, comes in for another one. There's still a bunker there, but it is not looking good for MVP at all.
Yeah, 3-3 Zealots without any more EMPs is going to be kind of tough. He also had quite a few Marauders, not many Marines. That was even without Storm on that last attack. Parting just had so many Zealots that he got a completely full surround on the bio army of MVP with charge.
Yeah, so Parting looking like that was not expected. That kid has been on a roll recently, and now we can see why. MVP falling to Startale parting, and now here's the question, Railcoon. Who the hell did IM send out next to take out parting?
Well, Bomber, probably.
What are you talking about?
I mean, oh no, yeah, right. IM. God damn it. I'm sorry. Yeah, who do they have left? They've got Nesty.
Mm-hmm. They sent out Lucira, they sent out Happy, they've sent out MVP. So,